I'm in Gamagori City, located in southern Aichi Prefecture along the coast. And here's a shopping mall. They have clothes and general goods, but the main attraction is definitely the seafood market. After all, clothes and accessories are things you can get at any local mall. I'd recommend going on a holiday or around noon on a weekday. It might even be better to go on a holiday than a weekday. Why go when it's busy? Because when there are fewer people, the product selection is limited. Fewer options, and freshness doesn't seem as good. Probably to reduce food waste, there's not much available on weekday mornings, since it doesn't keep well. It's pretty quiet during off-peak times, so I'd suggest coming when there's likely to be more people around. If you go during peak times, it gets crowded, and seating can be hard to find, but it's totally manageable if you go a bit earlier or later. It's not exactly a tourist spot that draws in people from other prefectures. It feels more like a shopping mall for locals. Apparently, you can eat what you buy at the barbecue area. There's a system where you pay to rent a barbecue set, 900 yen per person, which includes charcoal and all-you-can-drink non-alcoholic beverages. Alcohol costs extra, and there's a 2.5-hour time limit. Most of the car license plates I saw were from Aichi Prefecture. There's a resort hotel, but it seems more like a place locals come to for a short trip. Next to the shopping mall, there's a theme park called Laguna Ten Bosch, a collaboration with Pretty Cure every year. I think it's been happening for about 3 to 4 years now. It seems like they've been putting more effort into collaborations with anime. Recently, they've done things with shows like Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Demon Slayer, and Tokyo Revengers. Despite it being a Saturday, there aren't many cars. Usually, there are a few more people, but maybe it's less crowded because of the weather. For adults, it's 25,500 yen for an entry ticket and 4,800 yen for entry plus unlimited rides. Individual ride prices are pretty high, so if it's your first time, getting the unlimited ride ticket might be worth it. They accept credit cards here too. They usually do projection mapping during the Halloween season. Actually, I only come here during Halloween, so I don't know what they do during other seasons. Apparently, some areas are currently under construction. By the way, I'm pretty sure there won't ever be a Twisted Wonderland collaboration here. That's because this is a family-friendly theme park. The Twisted Wonderland user base is primarily women in their teens and 20s. Come to think of it, I haven't seen young people coming here with friends. I've seen even fewer tourists from overseas. It's mostly families with young kids. During summer, they have a night pool, so maybe that's the only time young people come. Today is Saturday, October 26th, but even though Halloween isn't over yet, they're already setting up for Christmas. Not a trace of Halloween decorations. Maybe it's like this every year. It's possible they start putting up the Christmas tree during Halloween. When I looked it up, I saw the Halloween show ends on the 27th, so it seems they plan to wrap up Halloween events before October 31st. But about 2 or 3 years ago, they did Halloween-only events on October 30 and 31 with horror-themed attractions and roaming zombies. Since Disney and Universal go all out for Halloween and seem really successful, I thought Laguna might also ramp up its Halloween events. Maybe they kept it low-key this year because it coincided with construction in the palace area. Ramen, fried rice, yakisoba, udon, beef bowl, curry rice, takoyaki, frankfurters. It's all classic theme park food. This is one of the few places still open, even when the park is pretty empty on weekdays. The menu selection is surprisingly large, but I wonder if they can actually prepare everything. I only ever eat at the place I'm heading to right now, so I wouldn't know. So, what's there to enjoy with just an entry ticket? Well, for one, this kebab. Anything with wheat, meat, and vegetables together is pretty much a favorite for me. It's 700 yen with this bread base, but 900 yen if you get it with a wrap. I don't think the ingredients or portion size change, so there's a 200 yen difference between pita bread and a tortilla wrap. I've always wondered about that. The visible part of the roller coaster is the entire track. It's a bit short compared to places like Disney or Universal. Well, Disney and Universal are in a league of their own, I suppose. Most of the rides are about this scale. At first, I wondered why the ride was running with no one on it, but then I realized they introduced backward-facing carts about 3 to 4 years ago. I mean, they just turned the existing carts around, I think. Did they copy Universal Studios with that? Maybe they just happen to be here often. They have a 3D maze here. There are 3 courses. The first 2 are mostly athletic. The third one is a serious 3D maze. I tried it as an adult, but couldn't finish it, though I admit I might not be great with mazes. You can use the unlimited ride pass for this too. Oh, and they allow dogs here. I see dogs every time I come. This time, I spotted a couple of them too. I think they even have an annual pass here, so a lot of locals probably come here with their dogs for walks. Every year on my way out, I always come across someone with a huge dog. I think it's the same person every time. I wish they'd align the maps with the actual directions. It's confusing. On the map, the entrance is shown over here, but the real entrance is over there. Ideally, they'd rotate the map illustration 180 degrees, or just face the sign to the left. This is probably a water slide. It's not running now, but maybe it will be in the summer? I've come here a few times in the summer, but I don't remember. Sometimes I go then for the fireworks. For a holiday, it's not very crowded, but there are even fewer people on weekdays. Sometimes it feels like there's no one around. When I was a kid, I'd just go on rides in a continuous loop, no wait time, and most of them were accessible with a pass. When there are fewer people, you can go on rides in a loop, but fewer shops are open, or they have shorter hours. Since you can re-enter though, you can always eat at the shopping mall. Also, they host cosplay events 8 times a year. The park stays open overnight, where cosplayers can take photos around the park and even do shows on stage. Depending on the event, sometimes it's more about cosplayer interactions, and other times there's a lot of freelance photographers around. But I hear this park's events attract more cosplayers focused on photography rather than interactions. There are also a lot of dedicated cosplayers who come with their own personal photographers. This area is for kids. There's a bunch of stuff, like this boat ride. Even though there aren't many people, wait times are still a bit long. This is an invader game where balls come flying from the enemy's side and you bounce them back to defeat them. You can do this with a passport too. The attractions in the kids' area are relatively cheap, but most others cost 600 or 700 yen. There's a bunch of stuff, like this boat ride. Even though there aren't many people, wait times are still a bit long. In summer, they turn this area into a pool, and you can even go on some rides in your swimsuit. This is an invader game where balls come flying from the enemy's side and you bounce them back to defeat them. You can do this with a passport too. The attractions in the kids' area are relatively cheap, but most others cost 600 or 700 yen. This one was my favorite to loop, a monster shooting game. There's a red target somewhere on each monster, and you get points when you hit it. Some of the guns are a bit worn out, though. Oh, I just watched this. Here's another showing. During the show, there's a part where they make everyone dance. I think you have to stand up then. You're seated to watch, but when the dance time comes, I think you stand up. Then there's this show, which runs twice on weekdays and 3 times on holidays. On weekdays, it ends by noon, so be careful. Even on holidays, the last show is in the evening, so it's better to catch it early. You can watch it with just a park entry ticket. Oh, and they also have puzzle-solving activities. You go around the park and complete mini-games. If you win, you get a chance to win prizes, but I've never won. I used to go around the park repeatedly as a kid, though. There are also mini-games with a bit of a horror or bravery challenge theme. The mini-games you get to try are random, so you don't always get to do all of them. Oh, there used to be a restaurant above the area under construction. Not sure if it's open now, but they had pizza, hamburgers, pasta, and more. Then again, since it's near the sea, you might want seafood while you're here. The Pretty Cure collaboration goods are impressive. The product section is huge. I was surprised. And since it's a theme park, they also have mascot characters. These ones? I wonder if there's a clearer way to show them off. Oh, this is clearer. I don't know their names, but there's the leader. The leader's girlfriend. A friend. At first, I thought they were dressed as pirates, but now I realize that's their default look. I guess it makes sense since this place is near the ocean. Entering the Pretty Cure area requires an additional fee. That was the case for other anime collaborations too. They have a day-use pass for 600 yen per person, and kids 0 to 2 years old get in free. Once you pay the 600 yen to enter, you can pay extra for various activities. They have a stamp rally for 500 yen per try, a character photo booth for 1,000 and 1,500 yen each, shrink art for 800 yen, and a drawing badge activity for 650 yen each. There's also an event called Wonderful Stage, where Cure Wonderful teaches a dance. This one is included if you buy the day use pass. So, you can still enjoy some activities with just the pass. They even have some photo spots. On the highway, there are unmarked patrol cars, or at least that's what they're called, though I've never seen one. I mean, the point is that you wouldn't know it's a patrol car until you've committed a violation, so never seeing one actually makes sense. There are various online tips on spotting unmarked patrol cars, but I'm a bit skeptical. Since they're not typical patrol cars, anyone can buy the same car models. There are cars these patrols seem to prefer, but I doubt they're easy to spot. Even if you could, I'm not sure what good it'd do. So, why am I talking about unmarked patrol cars? Because my dad confidently pointed out a car, saying it was one. Probably not. Apparently, there are also regular-looking cars with a red lamp inside for police use. Haven't seen one either. They're meant to encourage safe driving by visibly signaling their presence as police. I think I've only seen regular black and white patrol cars and police motorcycles, though I don't really pay that much attention.